So I got done watching Pulp Fiction. I said I was gonna watch Tarantino's films in order after watching The Whole Bloody Affair and Inglourious Bastards and really liking them and getting a sense of his directional style, or his style as a director, I should say rather. Yo, what's up and welcome back. Yes, back to Angel's Reach. Of course, as always, I'm Angel. I'm a little low energy today. I'm just waking up, went out to run an errand, and I'm back. I just wanted to play a little bit of Mega Bonk and listen to an album. Um, but then I realized I finished watching Pulp Fiction last night, after putting it off after finishing Reservoir Dogs. And so I imagine, you want to have my thoughts on it. The truth is, I don't really have thoughts on it. It was a really confusing movie. I didn't know much about it other than, like it being a cult classic and specific scenes, like Samuel L. Jackson being a recurring character in a lot of Tarantino's films, and Samurai Jack being the voice actor for Samurai Jack being one of the characters that ends up dying by Travolta by accident. Travolta's character is amazing as well. I love the dialogue. Again, Tarantino knows dialogue. Like the moments where they're discussing and having conversation feel like the most human and down to earth and relatable scenes in this movie. Like really, it takes it to a whole nother level from something happening on the big screen to like something you can actually relate to, and that's really really cool and interesting. But again, my thoughts are that I kind of don't have thoughts. Like it was just a confusing sequence of events, and I didn't pull too much from it message wise. I mean, I don't know if you're supposed to, but I think for what it was a really fun, interesting movie, and I don't know if I'd rewatch it on my own, but I definitely wouldn't turn it off if it was on. I think there's some really dope scenes. The scene with Marcellus, and what unfortunately ends up happening to him, and Bruce Willis ends up going back for. I mean, it's really, I mean, just like a hard watch. I mean, brutal. And uh and the panic and the sheer panic in Travolta with Uma Thurman's character Mia, and it was really funny. I was watching. It's not funny, but it's crazy how I was watching the movie. I was eating cereal, some marshmallow fruity pebbles because they were on sale at the supermarket, and that's what you do as an adult. You get things on sale, and I was eating cereal, and it cut to the dude who gave Travolta the heroin. What's it called? Yeah. Eating cereal in the living room and trying to avoid the phone call. And I was like, oh man, it's definitely me right now. Like I'm not looking at my phone. It's charging and I put it on mute. So like if anyone needs you, I definitely can't see it unless they like message me on Discord, which it's crazy that you can find me on Discord before you can find me on my phone number. That's kind of odd, but whatever. Yeah, so I didn't really take too much from it. I think there's some really iconic scenes, really dope scenes, really fun segments of it. I wouldn't go out of my way to rewatch it, like I said, but I think it really is a fun watch for a weekend, like something to discuss and like really get a conversation going, talking. I mean, like, knowing my friends, I feel like we would all just be like, "What the hell was that even about?" and stuff, and like we'd like slam on it for a couple minutes before like either trying to watch something else or discussing something else entirely. Um, just because it felt pointless. I feel like there was no real message, like or clear message to it, which is it doesn't have to have one. Like I said with the FNAF movie, it can just be a fun time, and I think that's what it was. I do have to sit with it for a little bit and maybe rewatch it, see if my opinions on it change or anything like that. But I kind of don't even want to rewatch it. It's pretty long. I remember being like an hour and 10 minutes in, and like my Pluto TV like lagging and being like, "Oh my god, is this gonna like just mess up again? And do I have to stall this for another day?" Like I kind of don't want to watch. I was like, you know what, I might be at the end of it, and I saw it was an hour and 10 in. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. But then I realized I was only like halfway, and there was like another hour and like 10 minutes left, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. And so yeah, I'll just sit with it for a little bit, see if my thoughts change on it. But yeah, I really, again, I just like really enjoyed some of the shots, some of the like chapters and the screens. Like when Uma Thurman was like, "Don't be such a," and then like the rectangle showed up, or it was supposed to be a square, but I mean the rectangle, and that like frustrated me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, when that happened, I was like, "This is really cool." That's probably super innovative. I mean, they probably had Roger Rabbit at that point or something like that in animation and movies. There's no doubt, but I mean, just like little moment like that is really dope. And I'm sure that that happens in, I mean, I'm positive it happens in other movies and stuff, but like Tarantino plays with the screen really well. And yeah, speaking of really well, I went or playing with the screen really well. Quick side tangent. I went to go see the not the thing. Oh, I wish I would have saw the thing in IMAX. I went to go see The Shining in IMAX. There was only like 3 or 4 scenes where the IMAX really mattered, and that kind of bummed me out. I was like, dude, what? And then it said adapted for IMAX, not like shot in IMAX, and I was like, ah, I'm such a moron, gang. I'm so dumb, chat. Chat, am I dense? Chat, am I dense? Oh my gosh, I was about to be really stressed out if I saw that I wasn't recording my audio. Oh my god, I've done that before. I've done like a perfect 20-minute take, and then I checked the audio, and it's just muted because I didn't have my mic on. Now it's on. Microphone check, 1 2. What is this? The 5-foot assassin with the roughneck business. I flow like gravity. Never had a cavity, and I got more rhymes than. All right, cool, chill. That's some low end theory for you. That's some a tribe called Quest for you. That's bugging out. That's such a good verse. Such a good track. Such a good group. Such a perfect album, man. Anyways, let's not talk about the date song. If you know, you know. If you're tapped in, you're tapped in. Okay. I went to go see The Shining. Really quick tangent while I wrap up my thoughts on Pulp Fiction or lack thereof. I went to go see uh, The Shining because I told my friend we were gonna see. We were supposed to see The Shining in IMAX, and then we were gonna go see um, the Whole Bloody Affair the next day. He ended up not showing up to both, and so the first one he got a refund on our tickets, and so I ended up getting a different seat than I expected. And then when I showed up to the seat, there was a family of 3 with all of their stuff on my seat, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, this is embarrassing, but you've kind of got my stuff on there." He's like, "Ah, but you don't need to sit there," and I was like, "I kind of did. It's my seat, you know." And he's like, "Well, how about you just like sit on the seat over?" And I was like, "What are we talking about here, man? What the, like, are these your kids? Like, well, like, what example are you setting for them? Just like denying me my seat? Like, it's my seat, dude." Like, I just like looked at him and I looked at his kids and I was like, I don't want to like, what if like, so what if somebody else wants to come sit on their seat? Like, that's somebody else's seat. And he was like, well, if they come in, then we'll just move it. And I was like, why don't you just move it now, man? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, why are we just going in circles? And so I was just like, whatever, man. If someone shows up, then I'll sit in my seat. But whatever, I'll let you have the small victory. You're a fucking burger. You're a loser. Your 2 kids probably hate you and didn't want to see The Shining. But they were like 17, 18, so like, whatever. But yeah, loser, burger, dad, absolute resentment towards that guy. Um, my arc against dads and fatherhood in general continues onward. And yeah, so I just decided not to sit in my I decided I just was gonna sit in the other seat. I saw The Shining. It was the same as it was last time, psychological horror. There were certain scenes that were enhanced, like a little bit more crisper with the IMAX, but other than that, I mean, didn't add too much. Like the ending scene was super good with the IMAX, the cloudy, snowy, what's it called? Sort of dizzying shots of Jack Nicholson like limping and hobbling around the maze. I mean, it's killer stuff. It's really good shot direction, and Kubrick is always going to give you that. Those like some symmetrical and like epic shots, and I really love that. And I forgot like how many times that happens in the thing. I actually missed out the first couple minutes of the movie because I decided last minute to just get some food. Because I was like, fucking, I'm just gonna use up as much space as possible and be like an asshole to this guy, dude. I really was considering spilling my popcorn or dropping like my drink on their stuff, like just to be rude. But I am not a bad person. I just thought that in my head for revenge. Like how low are the fucking planes flying? It's like, is this an express? What are you flying from like Manhattan to Queens right now? What's going on? That's ridiculous. That's so low to the ground. Um, Okay, cool. So, yeah, I saw The Shining. Wasn't worth it. That dude was, ruined my experience. And then it took me like I had to walk like 40 minutes to the train station. I was like more like 30 minutes, honestly. But I had to walk like 30 minutes to the train station in absolute dick brick weather. Like it was so cold. I was like seeing my breath nonstop, like through my nose, bro. Like you know how crazy that is. Oh my gosh, bro. I looked like a raging bull. It was ridiculous. It was brick. I was cold. All I had was my music on shuffle, and so that's super dope. My homegirl's in Puerto Rico right now, and she's sending me snaps. So I'm trying to like look, but also um, get to the final point of what I'm talking about. But yeah, the Shining, not a dope experience. I mean, I recommend seeing it if you've never seen it. I mean, it's a cult classic or whatever. But yeah, it was whatever. I'm sort of underwhelmed with movies and stuff nowadays. But I mean, Pulp Fiction, I think I want to end by saying like I for a fact like Reservoir Dogs better, and I can kind of see why people would like Pulp Fiction more and would say it's like one of their favorite. It's like there's a ton of iconic stuff, and again, it feels super down to earth and realistic and um real. I mean, like it just seems like, I mean, granted, exaggerated, albeit exaggerated, but like a realistic set of like crazy fucked up events that are just like that you can't help but watch, like a train wreck or something, like a car crash. You know what I mean? It's like really, you can't avert your eyes, and like, although I will admit that there are some times that I was just like finding it hard to keep up or want to keep up. Not even like it was hard to like keep track of what's going on. I was just like, dude, what? Like, why am I even invested right now? While it did have those moments, I think it was still really, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record here. Fun. It was a really fun movie. It was a really like action packed sequence of events, and it had you like tense a lot. Like the final scene, like the final discussion. I'm starting to realize that there's a lot of like speeches at the end of Tarantino movies and dialogue, and um like for the first one was Inglorious Bastards, like Madame was Shoshana and the army soldier, they were having like a pretty long discussion before she or before they killed each other, and then in Kill Bill, like the whole last 40 minutes of the second movie is just like, or the end of the movie, if you want to call it one movie, like I think it is. It's just like a 30-minute therapy conclusion, redemption sort of conversation. And so in this movie, Pulp Fiction, there were a lot of like dialogue, like scenes that were long that I really appreciated. But I mean, um, towards the ending, that like tense stick up moment was really what's it called um it was really intense. It was really intense. Like I said, it was building up suspense, and like you were like wondering what was gonna happen and who was gonna shoot who. And after watching Reservoir Dogs, you can like clearly tell that Tarantino is not afraid to kill off somebody or um, have somebody pull the trigger. And so when you see all these like guns held up to everybody, you expect things to go off, and then it just sort of cools over, and it becomes like a little bit more of a like I don't want to say anticlimactic, but like a more relieving ending. And it uh it wasn't my favorite, and for what it is, I can appreciate it and think it was super cool. And um I need to rewatch it to think about certain scenes again, but um, I just really enjoyed the way it was shot. I mean, like one of my favorite scenes is probably Travolta shooting up on his way to meet Mia Goth, and then like just that scene of him just driving in a complete ecstasy, hitting him. Like I felt it. I felt the breeze of that behind the car window, and I felt like the lights hitting me, and I kind of felt the darkness of like the city beside the streetlights. Like it was super visual, and the dance scene was super funny too, and a lot of Mia Goth or Uma Thurman's rhetorical sentences and stuff are really strong, are really powerful. Like she has like a bunch of like one liners and stuff that like really drive the narrative forward, and also just make for good rhetoric, like so like just get sentiments to just ponder on, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna have to again rewatch it maybe, or think more on it, let some time pass and let it grow with me for a little bit, see what sticks and what doesn't, and then yeah, I don't think there's any point in rating any movies or anything like that. I just recommend you go watch whatever, you know what I mean? I always think it's worth having an experience, whether it's good or bad. So, particularly this one, because there's so many iconic moments. I mean, meme culture in general, like, took a hold of this movie like in like crazy. But I mean, the zeitgeist and pop culture and stuff can't get enough of this movie, and there like it shows in some in some ways. Like there are many moments that stick out as um I mean, I have a little bit of bias because like I know the references and stuff, but like even during some moments, you can kind of tell that this is gonna be like there like life was going like one way, and then things like started like shifting, like not even like a whole worldwide sort of thing, but like you could tell like these moments were like sort of etched and engraved in greatness. That's kind of glazing. That's glazed. Let's glaze. Let me not say it. Let me not say it like that. But like these, I mean, these moments feel like timeless. These moments feel like they've always been here. You know what I mean? It just feels like again, like it's the best part about like Tarantino movies is how like human and normal they feel, like how down to earth they are, and how like realistic they are. Like these aren't like I mean again, granted exaggerated, but these aren't like insane concepts to wrap your head around, or something like completely like fantasy. Um it's a lot of just like uh attention to detail, and it's a real, I mean, like I don't want to knock his like writing style or whatever, but it seems like just a really simple foundation of events, and he just explores and pays so much attention to detail to that simple concept, and built off of that really really beautifully, and really really fun again. I really recommend watching it, but I think that's gonna be it. Pulp Fiction, super dope film. I'll talk to you guys later, or whatever. But I was like super far to the left this whole time, or right. I don't know which one this is gonna upload. Whatever. Bye.